recording is in progress, and I should put myself in the limelight too. All right, everyone. Hello and welcome. Can everyone hear me okay? We had a weird blip just there. Okay, cool. And so happy to see you all. And for those listening on replay, um, I would love to, we'll do our metaphor check-in and my creative question, my fun getting to know you question is your favorite kind of shoes? Because I like shoes, favorite kind of shoes. And let's see, I'll go first since Ezra's not here, unless you're ready to go first, Ezra,
Oh, sure.
for your login and then, I mean, for your metaphor check-in.
Yeah,
And you can
favorite
log
kind
in.
of shoes?
Favorite kind of shoes and your metaphor check-in and welcome home.
Thanks. Hi. Favorite kind of shoes, I'll say um boots. I do like boots. They make me feel um strong,
Strong.
tough.
Tough. All right. Yeah. And say why you like them. Great. And what's your metaphor check-in for writing?
Um I am um I am James Woods on the was it I think I can't remember whether it was I think it was Family Guy. I can't remember Family Guy or Simpson, where the plan was to lure him somewhere. So they laid out pieces of candy, and so he would walk a step and go, "Oh, piece of candy," and he'd eat it, and oh, a piece of candy, and he, and it's that's the feeling of like I'm feel like I'm scattered with all these little bits of novel and maybe even in different notes on my phone. But it's all leading up to something.
Okay. And it's yummy because
And it's yummy.
it's
Yeah, it's good.
and it's
It's
good. Okay.
good progress.
Good problem to have. Awesome. Thank you. Great. Who would like to go next with your metaphor check-in? Hugh and favorite kind of shoes. All right. I'll put you in the spotlight. Yay.
Hey
Happy to see you.
there.
Hi.
Yeah, so after you and I spoke recently, Beth,
Yeah.
uh some of my struggles really putting onto the page what I really want to say. I've been thinking about, how can I best articulate kind of what's going on in my head, the things I want to say in my fiction. And so my metaphor check-in for today is digging in the mines for rare metals.
Mm.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. So
Nice.
that's what I feel like I'm doing right now. I'm
Hmm.
trying to find whatever those gold nuggets are somewhere, or silver, or emeralds, or diamonds. I don't care what they are. Um, I just I'm trying to dig and find them,
Yeah.
Hmm.
right? And it's a lot of digging.
Yes.
So
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of
uh,
digging.
yeah. As far as my favorite shoes, I don't do any running or jogging anymore for various reasons, but I do like running shoes, like nice, comfy, supporting running shoes because I do walk a lot. So I like to walk long distances and running shoes tend to help me uh, walk for longer and further without my dogs barking too much.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah.
Trying to.
Uh, Nicole, you want to go next?
Um, my metaphor check-in. Um, I guess it's a creative Labrador.
Oh, creative
Oh,
Labrador. That's fun. Oh, good. Oh, I love it. And do you have a favorite kind of shoes and why?
um, I guess sandals, I guess.
Oh, fun. What do you like about them?
Um, I guess I can put on.
Sorry, say that again.
They're easy to put on.
Easy to put on.
Mm.
Oh, great. Oh, I like that. Thank you. Great. Diana, you ready to go next?
Sure.
Put you in the spotlight. There we go. Yeah. Hi.
Hi. So my metaphor check-in is that I feel like I'm a juggler and it's life that I'm juggling. And, some of the things I'm juggling are like straightforward, like juggling balls or whatever. But then also I have like these heavy weights I'm supposed to be juggling as well. And like enormous objects or slippery objects. And like my writing is like a piece of cake that I'm supposed to be juggling, where it doesn't actually feel like it's fitting in very well. I'm still able to keep some parts flying. It's messy though. So, yep, that's my metaphor
Yeah.
check-in.
Yeah. I just want to validate that it is messy. It is messy in this process. So I,
Yep. My whole life is messy. I mean, that's why I said it's life that I'm juggling.
yeah.
Believe me, I would be like just covered in junk and dropping things left and right if we had to cover the rest of my life as well in this juggle.
And yet you show up so beautifully. So
It's the attempt, right? I'm keeping something flying. It may not be the full piece of cake though.
there you
It may just be a chunk of it.
go. Absolutely. Just be legit.
Yep.
And do you have a favorite kind of shoes?
Well, so that's really funny because I was thinking, what do I normally do? And the answer is I don't actually care what the shoe is. I am a creature of habit. And so whatever it is that I have gotten used to wearing for the last 2 or 3 years, that's what I want to keep wearing.
Hmm. So what
Um,
now?
yeah, so like I have sneakers and then I have slip-ons, I guess right now are the two shoes. But like what's actually important is that they need to be comfortable. And I have extremely wide feet.
Mm.
And so, like, shoes do not qualify as being broken in or comfortable until I have literally like scraped the toe areas, you know? It's
Mhm.
only when my shoes you reach inside and you can feel like, oh yeah, Diana's toes actually fit in here. That's what's important. So like oddly enough, what I care most about shoes is like, have I worn them enough that they now will comfortably fit my toes?
Yeah, that's great. I totally can relate to that. Yeah. Thank you. Oh, I love it. I too have wide feet, and short feet. Uh, yeah. Anybody else here that we haven't called on? Nope. I guess it's my turn. My metaphor check-in. I feel like I'm paddling in a raft in an ocean trying to get somewhere. I'm getting somewhere, but it's hard to tell because it's a big ocean and I'm in a little raft. Uh, but there is movement. I can tell because by the stars.
Mm.
Little landmarks or star marks, star charts. Favorite shoes. I have a pair of slip-ons I really like that do pretty good. I have another pair of slip-ons I like better, but they need to be resoling. And I think for me the most important thing is comfort also, and that I can walk miles and miles and miles and miles in the shoes. So I spend a little bit of extra money to get these really well-made shoes, and then I resole them until forever. Because when I find a pair of shoes I love, yeah, I take care of them. Yeah, cool. Shoes. let's dive into some free writing. Everyone ready for some free writing? You have your manuscript called up or your document to write on. I just opened up my book again and opened up my brainstorming notes document. There we go. Oops, that's not right. Yeah. Okay, here is the prompt. Go away. So did you got software opening up that I didn't want. Okay. So today's topic is health, healing, or medicine. So think of a medical encounter or healing, health related encounter in your story. And if you don't have one, maybe you could just have fun doing some backstory writing. And I want you to have your POV character, share an interaction in that environment, in the health, healing, or medical environment, depending on the kind of story you're writing, and include the sensory details, at least of sight, of smell, and sound. And of course, anything else that includes smell and sound, and see a health slash healing slash medical, depending on the kind of world you have, encounter with your POV character. And we'll do what, 5 minutes? And then we'll share. Does that sound good? Any questions? All righty, I'm going to open up my little timer. Where'd the timer go? Is that it? Yeah. Okay, we'll do 5 minutes. I'll see y'all in 5 minutes. All right. That was 5 minutes. If you care to share, you can put your notes in, or your writing in the chat. There we go. I just posted mine. You posted something as well?
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm texting. All right, great. What do we got here? We have
Yeah.
Diana's, Ezra's, mine. Are you going to post something, Hugh?
No, I got stuck.
Oh, no problem. We can talk about that. And just check in with you, Nicole, how that was for you.
Okay.
Did you do some work?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Ezra, you want to read them?
Yeah.
I basically copied and pasted some stuff from my novel and made a few tiny changes to it.
I did the same.
Okay.
Mm.
Hmm.
Is it Rhea?
Rhea, I'm not sure.
Okay.
However you say it is fine.
With the help of Rhea's more and more detailed map and asking for directions from Bryce from the communications hub, plus a few others along the way, Janie found the medical clinic, its universal sigil, above the door of the staff of Asclepius.
Asclepius.
Sclep
Asclepius.
Asclepius, and froze at the entrance. A flash of mom lying in a hospital bed, pale and putting on a brave face, getting all those treatments. Gah! Heat flooded her body and had her vibrating with an instinctive urge to run fast in the other direction. Mom had been sick for so long, being without her had been such an adjustment. Jenny forced herself to the present by breathing out hard and letting the air whoosh back in. Earthy scents of the corridor greenery, faint metallic smell, and something akin to a cleanser assailed her. So did a flood of sadness, washing through her like a fast-moving flood through a desert canyon. She could handle this.
Thank you.
This is from Aesop's Fables, where she creates portals to visit a fable and learn a lesson. Alice went to the university restroom and flipped to a fable called The Fox and the Sick Lion. She set up the portal and stepped through. A scent of marijuana hit her. She found herself outside at the Oxford campus, looking at her reflection in the West Williams Lake, a place where non-students came to smoke and waste their day. Did she not go through the portal? No, something was different. She was supposed to meet a professor in the North Tower building, but there was no North Tower building in real life. If this was indeed a fable, then her realm knowledge told her exactly where the building was supposed to be and which room was Professor Voorhees' office. What she didn't know was why he wanted to see her. She had no classes with Professor Voorhees, professor of natural medicines, but her realm knowledge told her to be suspicious. He was ill and had many visitors, all female students, and after visiting him, word was the students looked like they were under a spell.
Thanks. Intriguing.
Right.
Right.
It's Diana's. Clara stood at the front of the bed, staring at Nico's prone form. His forehead was wrapped in cotton-colored bandages, which reached down towards his left eye, but didn't fully conceal an angry purple-red bruise below that eye. It felt like the world was crashing down around her. No one believed her warnings about Gracia, or even her stories about Fatin. Without Nico, she felt so exposed and alone. Please wake up soon, Clara whispered, but there was no reply.
Hmm. Poignant. Uh, and Hugh, do you have anything that you're ruminating about health and medical? I don't even know if you have any of that stuff in your book very much. I mean, you do actually. Of course you do.
Yeah, I've got a few things. I was thinking about a scene when Tobai was critically injured,
Mm.
and Relafin was trying to heal him with this healing gel that was infused with magic, and it wasn't working.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, but I got stuck when I was trying to write something about it. So
Mm.
yeah, there's a couple of moments of, in fact, before Tobai's power gets greater later in the first book, the one spell he can always do is healing spells. That always seems to work for him.
Mm.
That's right. And that in the opening of the book, he performs a healing spell that goes awry.
It does, yes. It almost gets him killed.
That's
So
right. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, that's powerful. Uh,
yeah,
Good. So we're going to talk about some things to consider when you work on your medical or healing systems. And yeah, everyone ready to jump into that and put some thoughts to that? Great. Gosh. Okay. Out of the blue. No. Is this it? Yeah. There we go. I have my a few things open. All right. So today we are going to talk about health, healing, and medical systems. And Rocket, oh, Rocket, you're part of our healing system. Yes, we know that. So we're going to talk about what does health or healing mean, healthy health mean in your world. Share some examples. We'll talk about how do you figure out what the foundation of the healing system is in your world, depending on if it's science or magic or something hybrid. Um, think about that, access, ethics, and inequality, the human side of medicine, and how everyday details, not just crisis moments, can help you. And then we have some resources. Um, Here's my fun graphic. All right. So when you bring in health and healing, you can really anchor the authenticity of your story. You also are revealing without explaining values of your story world. So Perplexity helped me write this. Whether your story features starship autodocs or elven herbalists, the way people understand illness and recovery says volumes about what matters most to them, which is all about values. Um,
I was just picturing like some fellow wounded and the doctor when a society where there isn't many morals, it's like, you won't be needing this, and removes the finger. Oh, you won't be needing this.
my God,
Come
you
on.
always go to the opposite. Oh, goodness. So I thought we would start off with like, what does it mean for you what are some terms that mean healthy or he to you? And I was just brainstorming things like that make me feel healthy, like being in nature, movement, feeling joy, feeling happiness feels a healthy thing. So I was just curious how each of you, if there's a few terms that made you think of how do you know that you're healthy? So just throw them out and I'll just write them down.
No pain.
No pain, but what does no pain feel like? Smooth like butter.
Yeah. Right.
Anybody else have how do you tell that you're feeling healthy?
I have a sense of energy.
Ah, nice. Yeah, great. How about you, Diana?
Energy is definitely what I was thinking of.
Yeah.
And in many ways for me, that's also linked with capability.
Is there
Um,
a particular feeling that comes with capability?
I mean, because it's so energy related, it's like the difference between feeling like I can't complete anything and I just have to lay on the couch all day
Hmm.
Mhm.
Versus,
versus, yeah, like, oh, I'm able to stand up. Oh, I can, either log on and do my work or like today it was really good that I was able to go outside and garden because it was like an assignment that needed to be done and I don't always get my assignments done actually. So,
yeah.
uh, the other thing is being obsessed with like my energy levels over the years. I've learned about very different modalities, and one that I think is really interesting, in traditional Chinese medicine, what they're looking for is balance.
Mm.
Huh?
So, a balance between like hot and cold temperatures, a balance between what they call yin and yang.
Hmm.
Um, it's just really interesting how like what they're looking for that happy medium place. It's not an extreme to them that you should be headed towards. It's that place of like supreme balance.
Hmm. I like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great way of looking at things.
And then I don't know if you're going later into like emotional health. But I mean for me, if I'm just singing, um, that could also be a sign of,
Hmm.
you know,
What's it a sign of?
feeling healthy.
Mhm. Yeah. And Nicole, how do you know that you're feeling healthy or well?
Um, I guess if I'm happy and
Hmm.
you know, um, yeah. So I guess if I'm happy and I'm not like um feeling like if I'm not feeling like I'm coming down with anything, like if I'm not like sneezing a lot or something.
Yeah. Yeah, good. So we all kind of have our own internal sense of that. And now in your story worlds, if you think about it from your character's point of view, what are well, I what are some symbols, not symbols, what's the word I'm looking for? Well, medical treatments going on in your story world. So, sorry, I'm just going to mute you for a second, Nicole. Um, so in my story world, I have tailored medicines, I have enhancements, high-tech stuff. UV light is used, lots of non-invasive. But then I was thinking, oh, other people's stories, maybe there's herbal, maybe there's low-tech methods. So as you start to think about your own story that you're working on, what are some of the modalities? Or I noticed I went right into the technologies and stuff and how people are treated, but also yeah, what are some what's the word I'm looking for? Indicators of the healing systems in your story.
Me?
Let's go to you, Ezra.
Okay. Um,
Sorry.
yeah, there are lots of instances where
Would you say it's potions or
oh,
uh
so yeah, so there's I, I would say mostly potions.
spells too? Because you're in a fantasy realm.
Um, there was one ridiculous spell, but yeah.
Okay, well, that's okay. Anything else that comes to mind about your story world and some of the healing modalities or beliefs or anything? I realize I'm just casting a wide net here.
Yeah, no,
Some
and there's
examples.
also injections.
Mm, okay. Oops. Cool. Anybody else, like when you start thinking about your story's healing methods or uh, modalities or beliefs? Realize this should have been more targeted in terms of questioning. Yeah. Anybody? Hugh, how? for your world, it's spells also, right?
Yeah, my world is spells, as well as herbs and potions.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
And Diana, what is it in your story world?
Similar, I definitely have like herbs and potions. I ran out of time to edit that section, but when I was thinking about smells, I was thinking of like the smell of herbs and things.
Yeah.
Um, I also definitely because it's like a very crowded kind of palace area where there's like a lot of people with different jobs. I think about there's probably nurses, um,
Yeah.
or like maybe herbalists. I haven't thought about like what the specific title would be because
Mm-hmm.
I wanted a scene in which my POV character felt alone. So obviously I wasn't going to have somebody walk in, but I definitely thought that somewhere behind the scenes you would find
Yeah.
sort of that nurse or the herbalist or doctor or whatever.
Okay, cool. Um, that's interesting. And how about for you, Nicole? What is used to heal people in your story?
Um, so far I have like types of plants, like I mentioned, like the biting apple.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but that's used for like when you have to like get the part that you would use. Um, so I haven't figured out. I'm thinking that not everyone would have a biting apple tree in their backyard.
Right. So who are there specialists in your story world, like doctors or nurses or herbalists or I don't know, witches? I don't know.
Um, yeah, I guess yeah. But I haven't figured out like how would it be used? Like would they inject it or I
Mm-hmm.
haven't figured
Or
that out.
maybe they make they put it in a bowl and they mash it up and
Maybe.
maybe make a paste with it, or they could make a drink out of it
Yeah.
and mix it with other food so people can't
Yeah.
like a smoothie.
Yeah. I just I would have to figure out what would work with the biting apple.
Mm.
Maybe I don't know. I don't know because they don't have like biting oranges, but they so I don't know. And I'd have to play around with that and
Yeah.
see.
Okay. Yeah. Play around with that. Um, I have, so here's a question. Think about this. Everyone, think about this. In your own story society, so health has significance. Maybe for some, being healthy means being pure. Or, like you were saying, Diana, health in the Chinese medical system is about balance. Or maybe for some people, it's all about, or cultures, it's all about productivity. Or for some systems or modalities, it's about spiritual alignment. Um, so I guess if I were identifying it in my own high-tech world, I would definitely put it under productivity, but also um, a kind, not spiritual alignment. I don't know. Wellness. Where does wellness fit? Under balance? I don't know. Um, yeah. What do you think in your story world? When people are well, does it mean they're pure, balanced, productive, or spiritually aligned
Um, I like spiritual alignment.
for your story that you're working on?
Um,
Or you just like it?
there's something about a contentment.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah. And it's funny
and
because
that's yeah.
yeah, that's great. How about you, Diana, in your story? Is there an association with health with one of these or something else similar?
Yeah, I was thinking about it. I don't imagine that my society would experience a ton of ill health, because they've been so static. That's kind of the way I envision it. And I always thought of them as maybe less sensitive to health in general, but very sensitive to life and death
Mm.
because they are a society that can't grow through having kids. So,
So life and death, I don't know if it's good and bad like that, or happy and sad, or how do they associate?
for me, it was definitely that like the one scene that I wrote in which somebody died, it was about loss, right? And this sense of permanent loss
Yep.
because, you're losing people and you can't get any more.
Yeah, it seemed like sadness was the pervasive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just read that scene. That was great. And so, but then with life, do they're like, yay, or they're like, oh, ho hum, or I mean, because they've been living statically for 200 years.
Yeah, I definitely figured they were ho-hum. So it's not like they are embracing life. They're kind of bored.
Yeah.
But for sure, I mean, I think the perception would be it's definitely a harm to society to lose a life.
Mm-hmm.
And so they don't want that to happen.
Yeah.
But then I was thinking, would accidents happen? Could you imagine somebody in my world, for example, having like a accident that creates a permanent disability? Yeah, yeah, I could definitely imagine that. And then for 200 years, they're limping or whatever. So I don't think they're as sensitive to like health or
Mm.
vitality so much as they are just avoiding the loss of permanently losing somebody to death.
Yeah. That's an interesting paradigm to live in. Yeah.
Mhm.
And how about you, Hugh? Where does your story world fit with this association with health and purity, balance, productivity, spiritual alignment, something else?
Yeah. As you're asking the question, I'm not sure I've done a lot of consideration for
Mm-hmm.
that. Uh, Health regarding just other parts of life. I know I'm trying to build out this sort of religious group
Mm-hmm.
that is frequently in conflict with those who have magic,
Mm.
because each side believes their way is the right way. So I haven't. Maybe I can build something into there about health. I know with the mages, um, they're very um, they're all encouraged to be physical and athletic, but at the same time, with healing magic, they don't their injuries can heal quickly and disease is healed quickly.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm wondering if they could even take health for granted because it comes so easily to them.
Yeah. 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 And I was wondering about the rest of the population. Um, how,
Yeah,
how are they suffering? Are they like, how come the mages don't help us? Are they resentful? Um,
yeah, because only rich people can afford to pay the mages
mm,
for health boosts, magical health boosts.
mm, um,
And poor
yeah.
people generally don't
Mm,
afford it.
yeah.
Um,
So the rich can be healthy and the poor suffer.
yeah,
Is that
yeah.
it's
Except in cases of like plague or something, the
hmm.
mages get involved and then they have to sort of work on everybody to keep the disease from spreading.
Okay. I see. Oops.
Yeah,
Rocket.
I just made that up now.
I like it. I think it's good. Yeah. Except in cases of plague, may just help everyone. Yeah, and so that we're going to talk about this in a little bit, like the inequalities that show up in society, because
Yeah, that's something that's been on my mind of late to put
mhm,
in the book and be a little bit more of kind of speaking my truth on how
mm,
I feel about income inequality.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah, yep, and that's a big theme in my books too.
I know I'd mentioned this before about Paracelsus. Something he was known for as a doctor was the he would charge the rich a ton of money and then treat the poor as well without charging them.
Mm.
Um, I'm wondering if there would be like a um, exception mage who would treat the poor. I don't know.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Oh, that's a
ooh,
good idea.
like an outlier
Uh,
who goes off.
An outlier potentially, or sometimes lawyers do pro bono work,
Uh-huh.
just to make them all not look like awful people.
Yeah.
Well, we do some pro bono work. Yeah, we're good people.
Right, right. Good.
What makes Paracelsus unique is that it seems like uh he likes to talk down at people is and makes fun of everyone or maybe just makes fun of the academics. So that's how it's kind of weird that this kind of mean or nasty speaking person is happy to help the poor uh, and
Um,
charge the rich.
He's probably sounds like a curmudgeonly type.
Yeah.
Cool. So let's look at some examples real briefly. Let's see. Of course, every society has its own idea of wellness. And the example in Star Trek, for instance, in Deep Space Nine, Dr. Julian Bashir, he embodies these ideals of enhancement through illegal genetic engineering, and it makes him brilliant. Um, but in the culture, there's some taboo, and there's like the ethics of of what was done to him. I think he didn't even choose it; his parents chose it, versus what the society thinks is okay and right for human evolution. Contrasted with Dr. McCoy in the original Star Trek, his old school hands-on approach, very emotional, very very contrasted with technology. Um, I can't even recall a single example, but
Mhm.
his personality was definitely like that. All right, let's look at the difference between what is the foundation of the healing modalities in your story world? Is it very rational and logical, like experimental, scientific, or is it spiritual, mysterious, and has people who know how to manipulate it, but maybe don't know how it works? Thoughts, feelings? I know in my story, it's all very rational and logical. You could post in the chat what you think it is for your story. Is it mysterious or is it? I'm wondering in your world, Diana, if the way the current understanding is in your story world, if it's rational or if it's mysterious. Even with, I know you have one person who's playing around with stuff, you know.
Yeah, I was going to vote for all of the above with mine.
All of the stuff, yeah, yeah.
Because I
And
have that unique combination of like a slightly 1800s basis where they had started with a lot of mysterious, spiritual, herbal stuff, but they are incorporating more technology.
yeah.
So,
And you want to read Hughes?
Yeah, Hugh says it's a mix of magic and chemistry. Much of herbalism in my world works, but much of it is superstition.
Yeah, and then you have the mages who do magic who it may or may not work, like for your main character. So there's sort of this hit or miss quality that is mysterious, right? It's at least mysterious to your main character.
Yeah, it's the healing magic in my book is not magic that goes in and actually fixes things. What it does is it supercharges the body to heal itself.
Ooh,
It's like a 10x on the body's ability to heal.
wow. That's
So it
cool.
doesn't always work
Right. Ooh, yeah.
because there could be people who are just too far gone.
Hmm.
Right, right. So there is a kind of rationale, even though they may not understand exactly the biology in your
Yeah,
story. Okay.
yeah.
And then for you, Nicole, I know you're still working all this out, but would you say it's a rational, logical, kind of scientific approach? Or is it mysterious? Or is it associated with a certain spirituality or belief system? What would you say?
For what?
Say,
What did you say? You said, what
yeah,
about being
is the healing system in your story, is it related to science or magic? Is it understood by everybody or mysterious?
What do you mean understood by everybody? You mean like,
Well, like in our culture, we have science that says how medicines work, and but there's still some mysterious things in our
right?
current world. But in a lot of fantasy stories, or like in Hugh's story, there's sort of a mystery. They don't really understand how it works, only that it works.
Um, um, I guess people. I mean, the people who like make like the potions and stuff, they would know how to make the potions and things.
Yeah.
Um,
Do they know why they work?
um, um, what do you mean? Like,
Could they explain it? Could they talk about the chemistry of it? Could they say, oh, this is what's going on inside the body? Or is it just like, well, we know that if you drink this potion, this will be the result?
um, I guess I could explain it. So, like, um, I mean, I guess I could explain it if they knew like if a person got poisoned, they if they had the antidote, they could they could say they could tell you like what kind of poison it was, or
Hmm. So they have kind of a cause and effect and some logical uh, treatments. If
yeah.
cool. Um, Good. Well, thank you. So something to think about is as a free write exercise, I don't think we have time to do this today, but to even write a little free write on what does your point of view character think, how would they define health and how would they define illness? And whatever, and just have them speak to you about that. I think that could be really insightful just to how they understand the story world. And then the last brainstorm question is like, who are the healers or doctors, and how do people become that? Do they have to train a lot? And is it relevant to your story? Even if you have a side character who's a healer or a doctor, it's good to know how they got there. How, was it just handed to them, or did they train for years and years and years? Um, and I just want to jump to a few examples before we do our last thing. Um, so often in fantasy, healing bridges the mystical and the corporeal. And here's a few examples. I haven't read this book. Devabad Trilogy uses magical healing woven with scientific logic, grounding the wonder in believable methods. And I think I've seen that a lot. In automation is often a big part of science fiction. We've seen that like in Star Trek. There's the auto docs in Larry Niven's Known Space. Anyone read that? I haven't read that. And then nanotech medicine in Louis McMaster Bujold's Vorksagan saga. And I just started reading a book where the main characters have nanobots in them who that have healed them,
Mm.
which give them power, but just for 1 minute.
Oh,
It's called Minutemen. But
yeah.
then they have to rest and recover. So yeah, if you decide how rational or mysterious the medical or the healing system feels to your character and point of view characters, um, that's very interesting. All right, let's look briefly at access, ethics, and inequality. These are more brainstorming questions. Who gets healed and at what cost? And you brought that up so beautifully, Hugh, how the rich get healed and the poor don't. And what divides are, if any, are in your story world? Like, is there a moral divide? You're I'm just thinking of some people who, like some religious cults in the past, if you fasted, you were moral, but maybe you weren't healthy, but you were morally good, even though you were, we would call it unhealthy. And maybe you had a shorter life, but that didn't matter because you were fasting a lot, for example. So is there a divide between what makes so moral, ethics, economics, social divisions? Um, yeah. So what are the these divides in your story? How do they show up?
Yeah, it makes me think of like some religions or a religion, I don't even know, um, will resist going to doctors because that's not a part of
Yes,
their,
right.
they think it's all God's will if someone's sick, that's
Exactly. So 7-day Adventist.
I don't know.
And some subcultures, like New Age cultures, if you're well, you're godly. If you're sick, you were the cause of it and you're bad or wrong. So, but in other cultures, if you're sick, you're holy, or you're just meant to be cared for. There's no moral or ethical judgment. Uh, so I'm just going to leave these here for brainstorming for another time. But here's some examples. In Elysium, which is a film. I saw this film. The rich citizens enjoy instant cures through radiology pods, while the poor remain sick on Earth. And the rich citizens were in like this ring above the planet. So these systems can really dramatize the class divides and moral tension. And like what you're thinking about doing, Hugh, the speculative medicine, it can expose the injustice, just like our real world healthcare disparities. Um, and it doesn't have,
Ever since you mentioned Elysium, I think at one point you mentioned that to me at one point. I've been thinking about a lot of that for the story, so that's why I'm still have this whole rich poor thing going on in my head.
yeah, I think that's really interesting. And I played with it in my story as well, where Janie had to take a job to earn lots of money so she could pay for her mother's experimental medicine. Like regular medicine was provided, but anything experimental was not. And then lastly, just a reminder to portray your healers as people with emotional layers and ethics and even the physical strain of doing their job, which can add realism and empathy. And I do have a secondary character, Doctor, in my current story who is a complicated person. It's fun, and it's fun to portray that. Some examples like Dr. Bashir hides his enhancements so he won't be judged and so he can seem more human because he's considered not human. I haven't read this book. Croker in the Black Company documents the moral complexity of healing on a battlefield. So there you're put right in it. Um, and let's see. Yeah, and something that's really fun that you can use to just integrate healing in your story is just the everyday occurrences, like how people use herbs, how they might be in their kitchen, or how, I mean, like for you, Nicole, the fact that there's orchards of these biting apples that exist that even could be a backdrop at different moments in your story could be really interesting. Um, or just the way people talk about healing. Um, it could be, so it doesn't have to be a crisis moment in your story to be interesting and to be embedded in your story. Let's see, here's an example. Mira Grant's Newsflesh trilogy begins with a cure gone wrong, an engineered virus meant to end disease that triggers a zombie apocalypse. Okay, healthcare becomes daily survival, and then it becomes everyday. Okay, I haven't read that yet. And then last, just some interesting, oh, we already talked about all these books, and then there's some resources here. So I'm just going to stop here. Um, Hope that gave you all some food for thought. And pets as medicine. Speaking of pets as medicine, one of my cousins, he worked for a pet service that would take pets into hospitals and help people feel better. All kinds of interesting animals, birds and lizards, and maybe a pony, I think, something like that. Anyway, I hope this gave you food for thought and thought about things. Let's transition. Enchaînement. Sans enchaînement. Without a transition. We're going to dive into Diana's edits, and Rocket is going to say hello. Hey, hey, hi. He's purring. I don't know if you could hear him. Okay, Rocket, can I please use my hand here? All right, thank you all for going through that with me. Here we go, Nutcracker excerpt. So Diana, we're going to look at your piece, and I kept your comment in there because I thought folks could comment on your question. What kind of feedback would you like on this piece?
Well, as usual, I am cool accepting any feedback.
Okay.
Um, you, I submitted this because you and I have been talking about exactly how much description is a dialed in appropriately right amount of description. So it'd be interesting to hear thoughts. But I also remember that you had suggested submitting this section. So
Oh,
if there was an angle that you were also thinking that I'm not, I think it's always good to capture those angles.
that's great. And let's remind everyone this is a young adult fantasy, and Clara is your main character, and the story is told from her perspective, and she's 12, 13.
12 at this point, but she's about to turn 13.
Okay.
Yeah.
And she gets magicked into being a woman's body.
Yes.
So she has a woman's body, but she has the perspective of a girl. And where does this fall in the storyline? Is this
This is towards the very beginning. So
right?
they've entered the portal into from her home in our world into basically a fairyland. Um, but the portal took them pretty far away from society. And so now she and the prince and a guard named Lieutenant Giza are making their way to sort of the center of society, which is the palace.
Yes, that's right. I wanted for you to give us a nice wide shot of the palace, her first impressions.
Mhm.
And so this is them. Great, thanks. And you're open to all feedback. Okay. Ezra, you ready to read?
Great, yes.
Go ahead.
Then the fluffy white flakes that had been falling for the last 2 hours disappeared, and Clara caught her first glimpse of their destination in the slanted light of the late afternoon. She gasped in delight as the amber rays parted the white curtains of snow, revealing a magnificent palace that rose high above the surrounding city buildings. Dotted along sprawling building, towered spires piercing the sky like jagged crystal formations. The golden domes atop some of the towers glinted in the fading sunlight, while other sections were adorned with shimmering marble walls that seemed to change color from white to silver to tinged as the light shifted. The palace extended behind all of the smaller buildings of the city, its vastness nearly overwhelming, with its many wings and adjoining sections stretching as far as Clara's eyes could see. Clara tried stretching up on her tiptoes to see more, but her newly elongated legs betrayed her and she tripped. Ah, finally, grunted Lieutenant Kiza, catching Clara mid-stumble and yanking her back to her feet. The lieutenant didn't even look at Clara, keeping her eyes locked on the palace. The most beautiful sight in the entire kingdom of Daiheim. Clara brushed fallen snow out of her eyes and examined the nearby parts of the building more carefully. To her, it looked like a collection of architects from different parts of the world had pasted together many different images from her books to create the palace. On the right, a section of the palace shot up straight into the sky, its stone towers clustered together like short-capped mushrooms. To the left, the main body of the palace dipped down to hug the ground, its low sprawling structure dwarfed by a network of bridges crisscrossing high above. These narrow walkways connected the nearby towers and upper floors, casting intricate shadows over the lower level as they reached out to neighboring sections of the palace. It was better than any tree fort Clara had ever seen. Starred as she was, part of her wanted to climb up to those bridges and see where they led.
Thank you. Yeah, great. Thank you, Ez. So feedback for Diana. I was about to say for Clara. So much as I was in her POV. Yeah. Ezra, you want to get first?
Something that stood out in terms of something I really liked was was a mixture of if you go down, um, how it was like a collection of architects from different parts of the world pasted together many different images from her books to create the palace. Um, that was what that triggered for me, and I don't know if this is correct, but um, it's as if the world was made based off of her imagination. So it's like all her imagery that she grew up with is now formed and mishmashed into this fantasy world. That's
The
what
impression
came
you get.
to me.
Yeah.
And I also
Mm.
loved uh if you scroll up how Giza caught Clara mid-stubble.
Yeah, that's great. Good. Yeah, that was great. Great piece of action there. Yeah, other people's feedback. Oh, I see a note here. Let's see. I love all the details. The visuals are wow.
Nice.
That's awesome. And your note here, which I think is really important to keep in mind, is that you didn't want to use architectural terms because they're too advanced for Clara, because she's not an expert in architecture, but you didn't know how to get more specific without using more advanced terms. And I like what you did. It felt like you used really regular person language to describe all the different things, the crisscrossing of the bridges. You have this short-capped mushrooms, which is really vivid. And so you're pulling from Clara's experience. And this notion of this was a little bit contradictory for me, where you have shot up straight into the sky and then short-capped mushrooms. Maybe I don't know what short-capped, but I thought, oh, they're short, but maybe you mean they're just capped.
The caps are short. Yeah.
Uh,
So if you imagine like a tall, skinny tower with a tiny top.
I see. So you might want to do some rewording. I felt like it was kind of repetitive and that
Yeah.
we have this first impression, which probably could be much shorter. And then you go into detail down here. Uh,
I
I
like, yeah.
I love, wait, go ahead.
Oh, sorry, I like that idea.
Yeah. I think what you have up here, you did something really beautiful. This sentence really stood out for me about the light, the fighting sunlight, and how um, you have this glinting. Some towers glinted in the fading sunlight, and the marble walls change color. So this is really powerful and beautiful. But this surprised me because I don't think Clara could see this. The palace extended beyond all the smaller buildings of the city. Like, how can, I was like, wait, how can she see that? She can't see, um, she can't, and unless there's like smaller buildings in front of the palace. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, that's what I was envisioning was
Ah,
that
okay.
if you're scanning, you're looking like small buildings and then behind the small buildings, the palace.
All right. So I would just reverse the order, show the small. You could even show the contrast, like how the small buildings look like such and such in comparison to um, the vastness of the castle, because that's a really powerful comparison. Um, to the vast castle. Okay. Maybe with a comparison that's
Yeah,
from her life,
yeah.
um,
I mean,
or books.
right. It's like here's a bad comparison, for example. It's like the um buildings, small buildings in front mere ants to the giant elephant that was the castle or something.
Or more to Clara's experience could be like mere ants in the forest, or maybe that's too much, but something like that. Because she loves nature, so something like that might really work. Um, because I love that there's this feeling of majesty here, magnificent palace that rose high above the surrounding city buildings. But I don't quite have a comparison. Like, what is this? Like, how high? Like, is it disappearing into the clouds that high? I always have a little bit of a challenge with, and this might be me, but it might be enough for others, but I thought, um, so I think you did a really good job giving us like this is really great, jagged crystal formations. That was really powerful. So you might want to condense this first paragraph so we just get kind of like maybe just focus on the light, take away everything else, focus on this sentence and maybe the comparison. And then I love that she tries to fall on her new legs and then falls because of her new legs. You could just you don't have to say Clara's eyes. You could just say Clara could see. We all know that, or at least we've established that eyes are the ones parts of us that see. Um, and yeah, anybody else have something to say? Nicole, checking in with you. Any feedback or responses to this section?
No, not really.
Okay.
I'm just waiting for my coffee.
What's that?
I'm just waiting for my coffee of the work.
Yay. I'm so glad that you are engaged by it. Um, I really, really love what you did here with this sentence. It was better than any tree fort
Yeah.
that Clara had ever seen. She wanted to climb it. And right away that you did such a great job indicating who she is. You know, she's someone who loves tree forts. We get a nice sense of her. So, um, does that help, Diana, this feedback?
It does.
Okay.
Yes.
Um, Nice job. Really nice job. I know I had been bugging you multiple times. Please let me see the wide shot. Yeah. And I know it is hard to like nail it so that it creates the pacing that you want and doesn't repeat. And you know, I work on my descriptions many times to condense and try these details, try those details. And because you know, there's a lot of layers. You know, we're working on I saw something today about revision. Like the first big revision is about getting the details there, like what's happening, what's going on. And then the second deep revision, which could be multiple passes still, it's like, is the emotion there? Is the rhythm there? Is the pacing there? Is the voice, is my voice coming through? Yeah. So I would say you're there too, Hugh, working on that voice and the emotion and also working on some of the world building. Cool. Well, let's wrap up. Let's do takeaways and ahas and thumbs up from Hugh. I love your use of emojis. My neck. Yeah, what's your takeaways from today? Anything? Anybody? You can post in the chat or you can
I've just been really thinking more about the idea of health, not just physical health and disease, but like what Ezra said earlier about emotional health, thinking about spiritual health. They all go hand in hand, and see where that all could potentially cause conflict in the story.
yeah, yeah.
And, I mean, it's one of many layers of conflict I'm thinking about, but yeah.
Yeah, that's so interesting. I love it. How about for you, Diana? Any takeaways or ahas?
Yeah, I was like realizing about my society basically. So I had already envisioned so many parts of society being slower than normal, kind of being stuck, which is why they eat less and do less, etc. But it only just occurred to me tonight that I bet they're actually really lucky in that they have far fewer colds and flus. I would think that like viruses would also be less active. I think everything is like less active.
Okay.
So
Yeah. Oh, that's very interesting. Yeah. And so that makes like Nico getting injured, what like in the thing that you shared today, what does that mean for people? What does that mean for him? How do people treat
yeah.
him? How do they think about him? How do they talk about him?
Mm.
Is he
I
being, yeah.
I mean, I think that helps explain why Clara feels so alone. Like, I bet they've actually had a much bigger section of the palace built out to care for people who were sick or injured.
Hmm.
But with everything being slow, I mean, they're also like, even if they can get injuries, they're less active, so they're less likely to injure themselves. So I just see in my mental vision, like empty room after empty room, not a lot going on.
Mm-hmm. And, this is what Clara can notice.
Mhm.
She's like, where is everyone?
Yeah.
Yeah, very interesting. How about for you, Nicole? Any takeaways or ahas for today? You're the one to suggest this awesome topic.
Yeah. So I guess I need to figure out, like the potions. Like I talked about the biting apples, but I need to figure out like what else goes with them.
Mhm.
How is it used? Is it put into a capsule or or and then you brought up the thing about health and equality, and I didn't even think about that. You'd think I would, but
That's okay. Yeah.
I didn't. So I'm now wondering. Well, I do have a gender shifter, but she already gave birth, and I'm wondering if somehow I could maybe introduce somebody else who's a gender shifter and she's pregnant, and maybe they don't want to serve her. I mean,
Mhm.
I don't know.
Yeah. The inequality, and that's another way to show the inequality. Yeah. That's great.
Yep,
Good idea. Uh,
yep.
excellent. Let's see. As I said, this is the first time I realized that most doctors in my stories have ulterior motives. I must hate doctors. LOL. That's hilarious. And I notice I really like having medical professionals in my story. I was planning on being a doctor until I was 19 years old. And so from the age of 6 to the age of 19, plus I was in hospitals with hand surgeries and felt very at home in medical situations for the most part. Yeah. Interesting. Very good. So, just some reminders. Our next meeting is November 6th because there's 5 Thursdays this month, so it's a bit of a longer month. And also, my friend and co-teacher in another program, Gala Russ, is going to be teaching romancing the subplot. So, if you want to dig deep into an intensive around romancing the sub, how to put romance into your story in a deep way. That's happening mid-November, and we are charging for it just because she's teaching it and it's all of her material. So, but if you're interested in that, let me know. I can hook you up and do. Oh, I had a question for you all. I'm getting ready to do my annual launch for this mastermind to bring in a few more people. And I was trying to think about what is it that I do that is not unusual, but like my genius or the thing that I offer that maybe other writing teachers aren't doing, or something I do that I do really well. Yeah,
Unique to you.
unique to me that I can kind of give people a taster of. I'm just trying to brainstorm if I want to give folks a low cost or free taster, so they can get to know us. I mean, I already have we have the ready to edit checklist video series where Ezra and I are talking, but does that showcase my talent? I don't know. Like,
I like that idea.
which,
Um,
which idea?
I'm just thinking back to when I first met you, Beth, on Facebook,
Yeah.
in 2010. And I remember you had done this little thing where you said, "Hey, let's do some free writing for 20 minutes. I'll be writing with you."
Mm,
And then, people participated with you and you talked about what you wrote, you talked about what other people wrote, and it was very, very engaging. It was kind of like a very safe thing to do, and it was very encouraging and motivational. And with that free write, that from that post, what got me the first few ideas for my novel, and
Mm,
then I joined your program in 2014, years later.
yeah.
mm.
Oh, I think it's the I mean, I could write 20 pages, your uniqueness, but I think uh, doing something that gets people past their initial fear of putting their stuff, forward.
Hmm.
I think that for you has been, a key element of your teaching.
Mm,
It's reducing the barrier to entry for people emotionally.
mm. Thank you.
That's fine.
Mm.
Thank you.
Were you going to say something, Diana?
Yeah, so this is probably specific to me, but I thought it was worth sharing anyways. I absolutely think of you as the pantser to my plotter.
Mm.
Like I was born to to create outlines of plots. Like that is what I was supposed to do. And like follow it to a T and then have like these formulas. And then you just show up, Beth, and you're like, what about this? What about that? What about these 3 or 30 other things? What if we added and then subtracted and then added again? And I was like, I know this is exactly what I'm missing, but oh my gosh, it's so
Like,
great.
you're
So,
so game. You're so willing. I love that. Yeah. That's hilarious.
Dovetailing on that, there was I wrote like a Goldilocks story and with the burglary and everything, and then you asked one question, which was something like, what was the triggering moments in her past that made her this way? And that made me realize, okay, I need to write that. And that became the first half of the entire story. And so what I had originally was just
Okay.
half of the, yeah, of the book.
That's so fun.
Yeah,
That's
it's
interesting.
great.
Well, you're each saying something different. And I mean, I was told a few years back, like one of the things I do that seemed magical to people is I do these live edits with,
Mhm.
with you all. And part of me thinks, well, I'm not just doing it. We're all participating. That's what I really like about it is that we're all participating. Like I'm not the be all end all, but maybe, I don't know. I mean, you're giving me some different ideas. Maybe I run a little challenge inside the Fellowship of the Pen where like one day it's free writes, another day it's like a live edit. Someone applies to be in the live edit, like a hot seat type thing, and maybe the next day it's I don't know, a type of Q&A, little live. I don't know. I have to come up with something that's fun and versatile. Because, right, everyone's got something else. And I know with you, Nicole, I remember you asked me all these questions on Twitter, and I'm like, why don't you join the group, Nicole, and get some writing done? And you're like, okay. Do you remember that? She'll unmute in a sec. Yeah.
Oh, I don't remember that actually.
Ah, well, what would you say is my genius, or how do I help you?
Well, I like the fact that, I can email you and say, hey, this needs to be in a Word format. And you're like, okay, no problem. I'll get it back to you. And it's not like, well, you need to read it in this format because that's how I'm doing it. So there.
Yeah, well, I want it to be accessible. And actually, I don't know if y'all know, I actually like talked to Nicole years before you even, maybe a year or so before you started working with us. I'm like, how do I make my blog more accessible? And I'm like, how do I make sure that you have access to everything? So
Right.
I care about that, obviously. So there's like this versatility thing going on. What I'm hearing from everyone. Um,
Yeah.
and
And
I,
I like that at the end of each call you're like, okay, what did you all learn? What did you all take away? And it's like all these ideas that we never even thought of.
yeah,
Like, well, I could be doing this and I need to add this, and it's like Diana was saying. Yeah, now we got 30 other things we need to add that we didn't even think of.
yeah, yeah. The idea bunny.
Yep.
Cool. Well, this is helpful. I need to come up with something that is really fun for me and that feels mutually beneficial and gives people a little taste. So I'll come up with something. Um, I was thinking,
One thing to note, as you put these ideas out there, is that regardless of which one of these things you pick, you are adaptable to different
Yeah.
people's styles and their voices and what they want.
yeah, yeah,
Yep.
yeah. And that is really important to me because it's important to me that you each are nurturing your own voice, not that there's some that I'm trying to have you be the kind of writer I think you should be. Like what I love is the diversity of voices, and I want to hear them, everybody's stories, and also everybody operates creatively differently. And I want,
Right.
yeah, challenge, kind of not challenge, but I think I have a way of seeing things that people miss. And I rely on my writer buddies for that too. Like I don't have it all, but I do
Right.
have a pretty broad, yeah, broad scope. So I got to translate that into some like hands-on experience for people who are new, who haven't met us yet. Cool.
Right.
Thank you so much. There's a note here. Oh, anybody have a book, movie, TV show they want to recommend? Anything they're watching or seeing or reading? I have something.
Okay.
I haven't read it yet, but I just opened it up on my Kindle. It's called Lose Your Mind: The Path to Creative Invincibility. And it's written by this guy, Josh Pais, who's an actor, and I took a few classes from him. I could say, I guess he's my acting teacher. During the pandemic, I took some classes, and actually, I met him before that. Lose Your Mind. Not that I want to be invincible, but his book is quite wild. I read the table of contents. I'm like, wow. Um, yeah. Anybody else have a recommendation?
There's a series, I think it's on Amazon Prime called Somebody Somewhere.
Ooh.
It's got 3 seasons of it. I've just watched the first 2 episodes. I'm hooked. It's they're half-hour episodes,
Right there.
and just watch the trailer
Okay.
for it, and it's a bit. I mean, it's a comedy, a lot of serious stuff in it,
What's it called?
and
Somebody.
Somebody Somewhere.
Somebody,
Yeah,
somewhere.
it's on Amazon Prime,
Okay.
and there's probably a trailer on YouTube. And I watched the trailer. My friend said, um, he said you remind me a lot of the main character.
Oh.
And I'm like, and I started watching it, and this woman is just there's so much shit going on, and I'm like, damn you for getting this right.
Oh, no. Oh my God.
Yeah, but it's really good, and it's heartwarming, and some of it's a little silly, but the acting in it is just brilliant. It's really, really just good. Yeah.
Oh,
Hmm.
good, good. We'll check that out. Nicole, any book recommendations or TV or movie?
So the Twilight Zone is now audio described.
Nice. Ooh, that's such a great program. Oh,
I saw it. Mom and I have been marathoning it. I mean, it's it's really good. And then of course, I like that it's audio. She actually told me it was audio described. I didn't know.
oh,
So it helps me because I remember trying to watch some of the episodes when I was younger, and of course they wasn't audio described, so I didn't know what the hell was going on.
you're gonna miss a bunch of things. Yeah. Oh, I'm so glad. That's such a powerful and influential show.
Yeah.
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 Oh, so cool.
It is.
Yeah.
So I guess. Well, I'm not going to recommend that because, well, I guess I could recommend it, but
Sure, of course.
okay. And then I guess, well, I like medical fiction and stuff, and medical dramas, and so I guess I'll recommend some of Robin Cook's stuff.
Robin Cook. Yes, I've seen Robin Cook's books. Yeah. Cool. Oops, that's not how you spell it. How about you, Diana?
Right.
Anything to recommend?
This is like the only time of year when I find horror acceptable. Most of the time I'm like no on horror, but this is it. And so I'm going back to some oldies but goldies for me. One is Penny Dreadful,
Hmm.
and the other one is Stranger Things. So I type those in
Yeah,
because I've been watching you type them in, Beth.
Good. And how about you, Ez?
Um,
Can I just say we've been watching Supernatural and it's been fun.
yeah.
But I don't know if you want to recommend that, but it's
Um,
been a staple of ours lately.
I'm trying to think of well, I don't know.
Recommend.
A fun horror film is Tremors.
Oh, that one's so good. Yeah.
Um,
With the kids, right? Or no, I'm thinking of something else.
Tremors are those things that go
Giant
underground.
worms.
Yeah, the
but
worms.
isn't the main characters teenagers? Teen
Oh.
boys?
No,
Oh, okay. I'm thinking of the summer camp with the boys and these worms. No?
no.
Okay.
That's like
That's something else.
Cowboy Dune.
No, no.
Mine is Cowboy Dune.
Dude, you're gonna make that up. Yeah.
It's I think Kevin what's his name? I think he was in it.
Kevin Costner?
No.
Kevin Spacey?
Oh.
Which Kevin?
It's
It's right.
the
Which one?
6 degrees of separation.
Kevin Bacon.
I don't know if he was in.
Yeah. And I one more recommendation, Lupin, which is on Netflix, which is a TV series, a French TV series. And I was just been listening to the soundtrack as part of my little creative mode. I've been trying to delve into French TV. It's been fun. Great. Well, excellent, everyone. You know where to reach me if you have any questions about anything. And for those of you, we'll be having our meetings about pages. Diana, I'm going to get you pages tomorrow, just so I don't have too late of a night tonight. And yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, I'll see you all in 3 weeks. And now we're going to have
Pizza.
oh, I love that. All the icons of pizza that float up there. Great. I think, yeah, that's great. Floating pizza. And then
Yeah.
the cat will be happy because, oh, we get to have lap time, right?
Yeah.
Rocket. All right, everyone. So good to see you all. And for those listening on replay, so happy that you are here working on your fiction. And great. We'll see you all next time. Ciao, ciao.
Good night.
Good night.